He's on the 30-yard line, the 20, the 10, touchdown.
All right.
We're recording. So hey guys, welcome to Where Are They Now? Washington High School class of 81 to 87. And so this is my guest, Sharon Kulhanek, and she is the class of 84, same as me, right? So Sharon, so how this works is this is just, kind of like you know Keith Johnson, right? He comes
Yeah.
down here to Florida and visits me a lot, and
Yeah.
we've been kind of talking. We're just like, I wonder where she's at now. I wonder where he's at now. And Facebook kind of tells us a little bit about our life stories after high school, but it only gives it kind of like a little bit of a glimpse. I mean, there's definitely things that people don't know about me, and vice versa. So after we graduated and we took that hat and we threw it up in the air, everybody just kind of scattered to the wind, right?
Mhm. Correct.
What happened, everybody? So this is just a little like, hey, what happened to Sharon Kulhanek? A friend of mine in high school, and so here you go. So as I said, we graduated in 1984. So I mean, we were friends. You were in art and stuff with like me,
Mhm.
and some of the other Cindy Grumman and all them. And you were also on the golf team, I remember, and you were a very good
Mhm.
golfer, and you still golf. But hey, what
Yeah.
happened after you graduated? Go for
Oh,
it.
wow. Let's see. After I got out of high school, I went to UW Green Bay.
Yes, yeah.
And yeah, I actually started in science because you can't make money in art.
Tell me about it. Why do you think I'm podcasting?
And I started in science and I got really, really, really bored really, really, really fast. So I changed my major over to art. And not only did I change my major over to art, but then I also decided to become a teacher. So I got a teaching degree as well, a teaching certification. So I graduated in 1988 with an art degree, a Bachelor of Arts. And then I had to student teach. And I student taught at Denmark, which was nice because I could, drive from Two Rivers.
Mhm.
And that worked out nice because it was an easy drive and um, an easy unwind home. And understand with art, you have to get a certification of K through 12. If let's say you're just a high school teacher, you have to student teach for 9 weeks, you're done. Or elementary, the same thing, 9 weeks, you're done. But if you're K through 12, you have to put in 18 weeks. So there goes, half a year. So I could not get a job immediately because of that. At the same time, I was dating my high school sweetheart, and we decided to get married in 1989. And he brought us to Janesville, which is where I'm still at right now. And his job brought us here. And shortly thereafter, because immediately the day after our honeymoon, I was substituting and I got in immediately, and I was pulled in a lot, obviously in the art department, also in the sciences. I like science. Also in the math, I was good at math.
I
And
was not good at math. I was
yep,
not good at
yep,
math.
a lot of Escher in there, and obviously art.
Oh,
And
that's Escher. Oh, by the way, Sharon, my wife's an art teacher.
oh,
Yeah,
outstanding.
yeah, she does. She works at a Plato Academy in Pinellas County here,
Okay,
Clearwater area, Largo, and so
okay.
they have 8 schools, and she's in charge of like all the art teachers of all the schools. But she's getting burned out. She's been
Yeah,
teaching for 25, 26 years.
I'm getting there. And so
Okay.
anyway, um, that was all good and all, and I immediately got a job in 1989. I moved to Janesville in September. I got hired in November, that quick.
Wow, that's good.
And and
Yeah.
and the job I got hired in November of 1989 was the same job I had until I retired, happily retired in 2020.
Really? With
Yes.
the
So
with that
Janesville
school system?
Yeah, Janesville School District.
Wow.
But like you said, there reaches so much burnout, and how much I used to love teaching, and the art, and how much you can bring, passion into the kids
Hmm.
and what it brought to them. And I would bring them to field trips to the Chicago Art Institute and all kinds of wonderful
All the
experiences.
things that they did for us when we were, yeah,
Right,
I remember
right,
that. Yeah.
right. And that Chicago from here is an hour and a half. So it was an easy hop, skip, and a jump. And or I would bring them to Milwaukee, or I would bring them to Madison. Madison is 35 minutes, and it worked out really nice. And the passion was there. And I can get to that later, but I'm going to backtrack now. I want to say nicely, my life changed through the years. This isn't all happy,
Hmm.
glorious. I don't want to say it all is.
Yeah, I mean, I heard rumors and stuff, but you don't have to talk about what you don't want to. That's fine.
No, just
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be all happy and joyous and free. It's just basically, you go through this, and you realize what's important in life. And my ex-husband, I would say my ex-husband, because yes, he was my high school sweetheart, but we had two beautiful kids.
Now, what was his
And
name again? I think I know, but
John Whitcomb.
that's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, he was from the class of 1981.
That's right.
And we're amicable. I mean, like I said, that's what you have to do for your kids, and that's
Yeah, you
important.
have kids. Yeah, you still
Yeah,
talk.
yeah, we have two beautiful daughters. Sarah is 28. I
Wow.
want to say this. I want to say this now. Sarah's Down syndrome, and at the
I think
time,
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
yep. And I want to say nicely, that's the best thing ever happened to me,
That's what everybody
because
says that has Down syndrome kids.
yeah, because I want to say nicely, that teaches you the priorities in life.
Hmm.
Because you don't need the honor student, you don't need the athlete, you don't need the top whatever.
Hmm.
This is what's important when she reaches her milestones and everything else. In fact, she was here for Mother's Day weekend, and we had the most amazing time. And
I
we made
bet.
cookies, and we laughed,
I
and
bet.
we
I
had,
bet.
yeah, just she is a blessing in disguise.
Now,
And I told
does she live on her own now, or is she?
she's in a group home.
Okay.
She went into a group home in 2020, and this was through one of her teachers through high school that bought a group home.
Oh wow.
And so the teacher basically said, when I buy this group home, Sarah's gonna be the first person I pull into the group home. And it was very important to me to have Sarah into these various services. So understand, from the minute she was born, first of all, I went to the Wiseman Center because I was very unknowledgeable about why did this happen, but they obviously educated me in this.
Hmm.
And so I know, nothing I did caused this. Obviously this happens
Right.
genetically.
Right.
And they basically said, do you have any other kids? I said, no. Well, you might want to have another one now. So my ex and I decided, okay, I guess we're going to have another one now. Boom. First time
Wow.
trying. And my next daughter was born in
This
1996.
this one right here next to me. That was the first time right there. Brindley usually pops in on the podcast. Like she'll say hi. You want to say hi real quick? She's 10. She helps me with my drone podcast. Just say hi.
There you go. There you go.
Phil will pop in. Say hi.
Hello. Awesome.
She kind of like helps co-host start my drone podcast. And that's how I started doing it. I'm like, hey, I know how to podcast. I know how to do the graphics. I know how to do the editing. Let's just do this. Where are they now? Type thing. So
Right.
I think what I'm going to have is her at the end on have her like answer questions like, hey, maybe not today, but hey, Sharon, what was your best moment in high school? Hey,
Right.
Sharon,
Right.
Stuff like that, to get her involved, and she likes doing that. But anyway,
Right.
yeah, I think I've seen some pictures and stuff of your kids on
Yep.
Facebook.
Yep.
I think Tori has a Down syndrome child
Yes.
too,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Is it Tori
Yep.
and Eric Webster or something?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
But
so I see that too.
yeah, both my girls are just a blessing in disguise. And shortly
No.
thereafter, my high school sweetheart and I divorced amicably, and I moved on, of course, and I was still teaching and all good. And shortly thereafter, and I want to say a good amount of time, don't misinterpret this, I met a wonderful, wonderful man, which I am married to right now,
Oh,
and
wow.
happily married. So I am on my second marriage. And remember how I said science was boring? He is this phenomenal scientist. And
Oh, awesome.
my youngest daughter, Kristen, also got her science degree at UW-Madison. So
Okay.
so much for boring science. It's all around me. And so
My son's
it's
pretty good at science. He likes
yeah, yeah.
science.
So things come back like that, and that's amazing. So
That's
um,
awesome.
but anyway, moving forward, I got married and remarried in 2013.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so yeah,
How'd you guys
happily
meet? How did you guys meet?
online.
Really? So you did the
Yeah,
online dating thing?
yeah. That was back when Yahoo Personals was popular, and
Oh, I would be so lost if it came to that. I've been married for well, I've only been
yeah,
married 14 years, but before that, none of that was around. It was always like newspaper, that type of thing.
yeah.
But I met
No,
my wife on I was a adventure guide for about 18 years, and I met her on one of my trips. So
yeah, nice, nice.
that was
No,
cool. So
no,
we enjoy doing that.
I'm very, very happily married, and he's wonderful. And
Awesome.
no, and I have my two kids. They're not around, obviously, anymore. I'm an empty nester, but
Oh
um,
boy.
yeah, no, that's not a bad thing.
Right, right.
I
I
love retirement, and
I think Sharon, I think most of our classmates that have kids are probably empty nesters.
yeah.
I'm probably in the rarity there. I started late. I started when I was 45. So
Okay.
Brindley's 10 and Brody's 13. He's in the other room over here. Probably on his iPad or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I got a ways to go.
But I kind of touched on this a little bit. Teaching was wonderful. Very, very compassionate with it. Um, I decided, and this was even when I was pregnant with Kristen, I decided to get my master's degree.
Oh,
And that was at
okay.
UW Whitewater, which is a half hour away from me. And so I had both my degrees in that. And this one was in curriculum and instruction. But still, I got to do other fun stuff with that too. Um, and I really, really loved teaching. It was wonderful, I want to say, until about 2016. My mom passed away in 2015. That was a huge hiccup in my life.
Sorry to hear that.
And yep, yep. And 2016 came along, and the kids were still wonderful. And I had so much fun with them. And, I would do art club and all the stuff with them. And they would come during lunch and spend time with me. And it was such an amazing period. And then all of a sudden, I would say 2017 hit. And all of a sudden, it shifted. Everything you see on the news, trust me,
Woke,
trust me.
woke, all
Well,
that kind
yeah,
of stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So 17, 18, 19, and 20 were absolutely painful to teach. And I reached that point. It's like, do you really want to teach?
I almost
You
need my wife right here, right next to me, because
Yeah,
we've had discussions about this very thing. Like,
yeah,
she's so sick of the kids. She hates to say it, but they
yeah.
don't listen. They don't, they're not you. We're not saying
But they're
but in general, they just don't listen. And
right.
she's just had it. She comes home and she's just wiped out. Doesn't want to do anything, And
No,
so,
and I could go into so many details, but that would take 3 hours right there. And here comes obviously the 2020, and here I have to teach off of a computer. Try teaching 3D art off of a computer.
oh my God, yeah,
It was
yes.
painful, and
Those couple
just
months, it was probably worse for you
yeah,
because here, my wife, was teaching our kids and the
yep,
kids, around, in her class and stuff
yep,
during that time.
yep,
But here was only a couple months, and then Florida got back going pretty quickly. but Wisconsin did it.
Right, we
Took a
did it,
while. It took a
and
while.
understand, I was teaching 2D art, 3D art, 7th grade, 6th grade, and advisory, so I had like 5 different preps. And then understand, because this was so brand new, every single teacher taught a little bit different, so the kids were confused, the parents were confused, the parents don't know how to teach. And then they're wondering, how do I do this? So again, I could give a 3-hour dissertation on this, but I won't. That would just get really glazed over boring. But so I finally decided in 2020, you know what? I'm 55. I'm out of here. So
Wow.
I've been happily retired since
Oh,
2020.
really? Well,
Yeah.
you were with the public school, right? So you
Yes.
got the pension and everything.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, my wife was is still with a private charter school, so she doesn't.
Right.
But sadly, she doesn't have that. But we saved, we 401ks and all that, so
Right.
should be okay. We want to travel. We just want to buy a fifth wheeler and throw some kayaks on there and go. When they get when they graduate. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so that's great. So, when you're 55, you retired. I think Sean McDonough just retired too. Remember Sean?
Yep. I remember Sean. I actually worked with
Couple of
him.
years ago, and the Fort Atkinson.
Yeah, that's fairly close to me. But I was actually a park leader, parky, in at McGee, and I worked with Sean one summer.
Did you? Oh, when you guys were younger. Okay, yeah. He's good. He's still a good buddy of mine.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
That whole crew. I don't know what he's doing now though. Like some people that are like retired are saying, "Hey, Bertie, how does this drone thing work?" Like, come down here. I'll give you a private class. I'll teach you everything you need to know to make a living at it. Oh, really? Like, yeah, come down. I like it because it's, I can still stay creative. I can do I make aerial shots like behind me, real estate, construction, progression photography.
Right.
But I also do like inspections, like roof inspections, but marketing video for like restaurants and stuff like that. Drones and photography lend really well. And of course, the social media, everybody wants aerial content, it's a little bit more interesting photo, and stuff like that. So I'm thriving. But I've been in the graphic field for a long time, and it just didn't, you can't raise a family. It's just tough,
No.
And then so I'll be doing freelance stuff on the side all the time, and then nobody wants to pay for it anymore. And
Nope.
I did murals and like if you listen to Keith Johnson's interview, he talks about all my artwork all over Tampa Bay, and it's in bars and restaurants. And I filled in jobs. When I lost a job, I would just do art, I'd do murals or whatever, and but okay, you're 55, you're retired, so you get wide open blank slate to do what?
Right. I
Travel?
decided, what's that?
To travel or do what?
I love to travel. I just love to travel. My husband and I love to travel. I can say all kinds of wonderful places I went, and I'm not one to brag. I'm a very modest person, so I'm not gonna do that. But I have been amazing places.
All over the world. Yeah. Well,
And
I'm not gonna say we traveled. I mean, we've been out west and stuff like that, and we've done all that. But I mean, when I was in the military, I went to Germany, so.
right.
And I wasn't one that would just drink beer in the barracks every weekend, although I did that too. But I'd be out, skiing and hiking.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I saw all of Germany and all of Europe, really. I mean, my sister was
Right.
in Italy when I was in Germany, so I would go and visit her, and we'd go camping on the Adriatic coast, and
Nice.
all my buddies are in college. They're all talking about their college stuff, and here I'm living it up. But then I got done with that, and I went to Silver Lake. I graduated from Silver Lake with the Koch boys, the Koch twins.
Yep.
they were buddies of mine, and I think Richard Gadzinski was a high school graduate with us a little later. But yeah, and then Paul Gleichner was a buddy of mine at Silver Lake College. So, but I heard Silver Lake College is no longer around. Is that true?
Really?
Yeah, somebody just recently told me, like, you know that school you went to off of outside of Manitowoc there? I'm like, yeah, Silver Lake. Like, yeah, it's not there anymore. I'm like, oh great, my high school's not around. My college is not around. My mom and dad's house, my mom and dad passed, and I go to True Rivers, go down Tannery Road, and I see that house. It just kills me that somebody else is living in our house, that whole thing. But yeah, it's True Rivers has changed. I mean, you still have any relatives in True Rivers?
My
Yep.
father, who is 88 years old, actually, he's going to turn 89 on the 21st, is still alive.
He still lives there?
Yep,
He's
in the
there?
house that he built in 1965.
Right by McGee?
Yep, right by McGee.
Yeah, I remember.
Yep.
I used to walk by your house all the time.
Yep.
Go to McGee.
He still lives there, and my sister who lives on 43rd Street, I want to say takes care of him. I'm going to say that nicely because he doesn't want to go to he's gonna be stubborn. He doesn't want to go to nursing home. I know he doesn't. He wants to stay there. And so yeah, dad's still there. My sister's on 43rd Street. So, and I hate to say this, I do have season Packer tickets.
You
So
do?
I go to,
Wow.
I'm retired, so I can go to every game. And so I do come home frequently and stay at Lighthouse Inn. And
Okay.
yeah, I get to see dad every single time I get to go. And
That's good.
my sister when I can. Yeah, that's
Your
fun. That's all.
sister, now your sister, is she older or younger? I
Yeah,
don't
she
know.
graduated in 1979.
She's like
Um,
my brother's age, I think. Yeah.
yep, and
Yeah.
she married Mike K. Cook. Um, and he's also in the class of 1979.
Okay.
And they, like I said, they live on 43rd Street. So yeah.
I'm surprised how many of our graduates in '84 and around that age still are in the Two Rivers area.
Right.
I was like, I just gotta get out. I didn't think I was smart enough to do college, or I was gonna do like a drafting class or something, but I still always kind of wanted to do commercial art, that type of thing.
Right.
But my sister and my brother, my whole family went in the military, so I was like, okay, I'll go in the military to get money for college, and that, the Army GI Bill. And I'm so glad I did, because I became a man in the military, and then grew up really, and then went to Silver Lake, and then I lived in Green Bay for a little bit there, Sharon, and I loved Green Bay. And then
Yes.
Dave Grumman was there with me there for a while,
Okay.
and then Cindy
Mm-hmm.
Pinchard, but now Grumman was there for a while, and then I moved to Milwaukee, and then I couldn't find any art positions, and I worked at Kinko's for a while. And then, but through Kinko's, I met somebody that brought me to Florida. They wanted somebody to run advertising agency and small little billboard company in Clearwater. And I was like, well, I've been here on spring break in '89. This is a great place. So I could live here. So that's how I got here. And I never left.
I like the Florida context here because, and I think you already know this, I get pulled into Florida quite a bit with my chalk art. I
That's right. We have that in common too. Yeah.
I have the Festival of the Arts through Epcot at Disney. I get pulled in. I want to say not every year, but because there was a hiccup one year, but I've been doing Epcot Festival of the Arts at Disney, where I get paid nicely.
Wow.
Disney pays well.
I bet.
That I get a draw on the ground. And this past year it was raining, so I got to draw on masonite boards, but that's okay. They still paid me. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of chalk artwork, and Janesville it's called Art Infusion. I've been doing that since about 2017 every year. And I just have so much fun and laugh with my friends, and I get to see so many people, and it's something for the public to see art. And I get it. It's an experience that people say, well, why do you do this to be gone with the weather? It's like, it's the whole point. It's meant to be the experience.
It is. I
Yes.
joined was a safety. We used to live in Safety Harbor, which is pretty close to Clearwater, but it's
I
a
know where that is.
little
Yeah.
small area, and they have a nice little
Yeah.
art community there with the SHAMC, the Safety Harbor Art and Music Center,
Right.
and those people are artists, Carolinda and Todd, and then also they have a nice chalk fest, and I did it for 7 years, and man, the last couple of years my knees are hurting so bad. I haven't done it in the last 2 years because of that, and my back was hurting. But when Brody was like one, maybe 1 to 2, something like that, we had him in the back in the baby thing, and he was on the sidewalk, and I'd be chalking, right? And he'd be throwing out toys at everybody and at me. And but my wife was a good chalker too, so she would help sometimes, and so we do it together. And then our church asked us to do this big one, and for a couple of years we just we're sponsored by the church, and we do this like this is the sign that what was it? This is that sign that you asked for or something that God. No, this is the sign that you ask God for, and we would like do a variation on that. And 1 year I had like an airplane, with the sign, that whole thing in the clouds and all that. But I really enjoyed, like you said, chalking and the camaraderie of all the other chalkers.
Correct.
And I still know a lot of them, but I just haven't done it in a couple of years because, man, my knees hurt so bad.
Right.
But you can lay down, I guess, and
I lay on my hip, and
yeah, a lot of people do that. Yeah.
I have a Packer seat cushion that I sit on. That helps a lot.
Okay.
So I sit on that when I chalk and lean, and that helps a lot. And so I'm currently chalking occasionally when I can. I volunteer at a thrift store that I really enjoy because it puts service back into the community. I'm golfing every Tuesday night. In fact, I hit a bucket of balls today, and I was grateful I did not slice. Back in high school, my camaraderie would call me Whack Thunk Kulhanek because I would hit behind it about, I would say 8 inches behind it, and then there it would go off into to the right. I've learned to take care of my slice, and my golf ball goes straight. I can no longer hit it as far, but my short game is better. But I want to make sure before tomorrow's match, because there's close to 60 women on the Tuesday league, and the whole point of it is just to have fun. And it's more bragging rights. We don't play for prizes, or there's no fee to get into it. It's fun. And my golf partner is a riot, and I can make her laugh to the point that she snorts. So, and I enjoy that, and I enjoy golfing. I enjoy walking my dog every day. I have this beautiful tree line behind me. I enjoy watching the birds. I put a memorial garden out in my backyard for my mother. I enjoy gardening now, not in the dirt, but I container gardening in my backyard. That we have a farmer's market here every weekend. So I look at the simple things in life that I enjoy so much. I enjoy cooking. My family really likes my cooking, so I've become a very good cook through the years, and it's very well received, I guess is what I'm saying.
I was gonna say cooking. I enjoy cooking too, and
Yeah.
when I was living in Green Bay, I was like, kind of just going out to eat all the time, and so this is like my little notice here for 10 minutes left. So I went home one weekend. I used to go home. My mom would do all my laundry and everything, that whole thing. And I wasn't ready to like grow up yet, but I would go home and I'd say, Mom, teach me how to make three things, because I never, she would always shoo me out of the kitchen. So she taught me how to make spaghetti, chili, and I forgot something else. And then I became really good at those three things. And then added a little ramen noodles, and it got more creative like that. And then I got better and better and better. And when I was an adventure guide, part of my job was like on the 2 or 3 day weekends, I would cook food for for like sometimes 30 people. So I got good at cooking camp food. and I really enjoyed that. It was a lot of work. It's definitely a lot of work. And I also did corporate and team building trips too. And sometimes if it was that type of trip, I would, make like a lunch or something like that for them.
Nice.
But my wife and my family, we enjoy camping, and in Florida, you can camp year round, no problem. And so there's so many great places, but we also enjoy. We have a cottage in Upper Michigan in the UP.
Right.
It's like a family, my wife's family cottage. It's been up there for about 85 years. So we'll get up there every couple of years. It's in the eastern UP. I don't know if you know where Hessel is or Cedarville. Um, it's Mackinac Bridge. You go over the
Yes.
bridge. Okay, you go over the bridge, you go about 10 miles, you take a right, go another 10 miles to a town called Hessel. And it's in the Les Cheneaux Islands. It's a group of 27 islands that are on the top of Lake Huron there. And just God's country. Just it's amazing, amazing stuff. And so anyway, the cottage is on a island called Marquette. It's like the real big island. And it's on the northeastern side of the island, but you have to get your boat and then boat about 40 minutes to the island from Cedarville. That's where our boat used to be, at Cedarville. So you get in there, you boat to the island, and then you're just like, well, before you do that, you buy all your groceries and everything, boom, you're good for like a week. And then they have a few bars across the channel that we might go to every now and then. But for the most part, you're just hanging out, at the cottage, and it's awesome. So I do a lot of that. But before I go up there, being a drone pilot and photographer, I always tell realtors that I'm coming up and say, hey, do you need any aerial photography of your cabin, your log cabin or your cottage or anything, any kind of property you have up there? And usually they say, oh yeah, we don't have anybody up here that flies drones. So I usually pay for my trip just through drone photography, because they need aerial shoots of the real estate up there. And then usually what we'll do is we'll drive over, the top part of the UP, down Wisconsin way, down to my sister's in Freedom. My sister Tammy and her kids kind of live in that area. So we'll just kind of make our way down, and then like an adventure all the way down back to Florida. That's usually what we do every couple of years.
Nice.
But yeah, so. But these guys are getting old enough now. We figured out they're pretty good at hiking and stuff. So we'll go to Georgia. We'll go to Helen, Georgia. That little. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's like a German mountain town. I love German food. It's so we'll take the kids there, and they have like whitewater like rafting and stuff, and they have hiking. And the last trip we did, Brindley did so well at the hiking. I was like, they're ready for the Utah. They're ready to go to Utah. So this summer we want to take them to Utah and do some hiking in the Narrows. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but it's like a bucket list trip
Right.
in Zion. So
Right.
yeah, stuff like that. So
It's funny you mentioned German food. Another thing I picked up in retirement, I've learned how to can.
oh yeah,
Yeah. And
my mom can like a crazy woman.
I can 90 pounds of sauerkraut.
Oh my God. Who's eating
And
all that sauerkraut?
no, I give a lot of it away,
I was
and
gonna say,
people
bring it
are
to the
grateful.
reunion.
It's like, you should sell this stuff. It's like, no, I probably give it away. And
Wow.
I can homemade cranberry sauce, and then
Oh my God, that's
yeah.
probably good.
And
That's probably good.
oh yeah, it's very good. And then the homemade, again, there's no chemicals in this. This is
Yeah,
all
it's
natural.
fresh.
Yeah, yeah. And then the homemade, tomatoes, the tomatoes and peppers and onions and celery that you would do like a starter that you could put into either
Yeah,
chili or soup or
soup. Yeah.
whatever. And just all that stuff. And I'm thinking, there's all kinds of stuff I'm canning. It's like, hey, let's figure this one out. Wah! That kind of thing. So,
My mom,
I-
I tell my kids that I'm like, when we were growing up in Two Rivers, Wisconsin, we didn't really, I mean, we had a garden, we had a
Yeah.
nice large garden. We had onions, we had green peppers, we had radishes, we even had corn, and rhubarb, and we had, all that stuff. And we didn't go and buy our vegetables at the grocery store. My mom would we'd pick that stuff and she would can it, like you said, and we had an
Right.
extra freezer, another freezer in the garage, and everything was in there. And then during the winter, she'd pull out a can, defrost it, and that would be a starter or
Right.
a base for something. And my kids are just like, "That's crazy! You didn't just go to the grocery store?" Like, no, we had a garden,
Yeah, you didn't have to.
and we got our milk for a while. We got our milk out of a bottle. The milkman showed up, and all
I
that.
remember the milkman days.
And my kids are just like, "You think really?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll show them that." And they'll be like, "Oh my God, Dad, you had a rough life." I'm like, "Yeah." And I walked to school every day, and then when I was old, I rode my bike. And the only time I ever got a ride from a car, because I take my daughter to school my wife takes my son, and then I take my daughter. She goes to a different school. And it's so funny because it's so close. I mean, it's literally maybe a mile away from, which is at my house growing up to to McGee. That
Right.
maybe 2 miles, mile and a half. It's
Yeah.
about that distance, and she wants me to drive her every day. But it's a different time,
Right.
safety is an issue and all that. But as soon as she gets into middle school, I think maybe we'll have her start biking, right, friend? She's like, "No, Dad, you're gonna drive me." But yeah, just it's funny how times change, Sharon, right? I mean, it's like
I agree.
we didn't even lock our door when I was
No.
growing up. We never locked our door. Maybe
Or
when I
you
was in
would
high school, we did, but
no, but
yeah.
even you would go outside and you would play with the street kids until the
Lights
local
went on.
kids until the
Yeah,
street lights went on. I was just gonna say
yeah,
that. Right. All right.
yeah, and you had a ball. I mean,
We had a blast.
we never saw a video game until Pong. At Pong.
Pong, ding, ding, ding,
Yeah, and
ding.
I
Yeah.
thought that was amazing. And then we did, of course, the arcades and stuff. And I do understand the allure to all that. So we have a
Right.
little bit more in a minute. So I'm gonna do a timer here. So we'll say our goodbyes. I mean, real
Yeah.
quick, what was your favorite moment in high school, Sharon?
I want to say the year that the Raiders had the football
The first one,
championship.
the 81. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That was mine too. That was my favorite. Well, my favorite moment was playing on the 83 team when I was a junior. So
Nice.
that was fun. I always remember that, and I tell my kids about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Dad, glory days, whatever." But so we have about 30 seconds left, so it's going to cut off. But Sharon, thank you very much for your time. If you
Thank
want,
you,
we can
Mike.
do a part two. I'd be glad to do that. Learn a little bit more. If you're not, this is great. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you at the reunion.
No,
Yes.
we'll see.
My wife's coming, so everybody's gonna see.
All right. All
All right,
right.
Sharon, thank you so much, and God bless you, and all the best. Okay.
Take
I think
care.
it's probably gonna cut off pretty soon. Here. I'll edit it right there. What do you think of my logo?
Awesome.
You like it?
I love it.
Hey guys. Hey, that was a lot of fun, man. I'm really having fun with this. I really appreciate you guys tuning in to Where Are They Now? Class of 81 to 87. If you like this kind of content and want to hear more from your classmates, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you now. But first, take care, guys. Until next episode.
So do you. Looks like you're enjoying life in Florida.
We look a little different, don't we, Mark?
Oh, ain't it something?
It's something. Age is something. So
Are you coming up for the reunion?
dude, I am. I'm so excited. My wife and I are coming up this time. And yeah, we're gonna stay with Dave Grumman and Cindy Grumman,
Yep.
and Renee Renee Johnson Giron and her
Yep.
husband, and Skinny and Ann. Off.
Nice.
We're gonna stay at an Airbnb. I guess Cindy's, Cindy Pinchard, Cindy Grumman, her mom passed, I guess, and they turned her house into like an Airbnb. So we're gonna stay
Oh,
there.
sure.